Hey guys, this is Tauna. Today we're talking about my secret banger set. This is a set that I absolutely love, besides obviously the Baldur's Gate set. It's a great set and very fun to open up packs from, and overall, it just has a lot of really kind of great stuff in it. So this is all my opinion, yada, yada, yada. And this set is beginning to get more and more valuable. You are better off buying singles most of the time, but set boosters of this one are, pretty decent, and that's what we're going to be discussing here. The set is also getting to the point that it's going on clearance now, like the set booster boxes and stuff like that you can pick up a lot cheaper. Now also, if you guys like this kind of video, let me know and make sure you subscribe to the channel. So it's March of the Machines. There are so many legendaries in this set that are like super viable or fun to build around or just very interesting. There's also lots of staples for various different themes. The +1/+1 theme is huge, as well as, just a bonus sheet of legendaries. A full bonus sheet of legendaries that is just really awesome. And they all look really great in their like plane based art. The commander cards in these set boosters as well is huge. There's another thing here is the dual face cards are very unlikely to see any reprints in the future, except in like a set like Modern Horizons 3, right? They need to be reprinted in something that's revisiting previous sets, and it is very, very unlikely they'll get reprinted in precons, which we'll talk about in a minute. It's also, I think, unlikely that they go and reprint any of the kind of team-up cards. The thing is that March of the Machines is a set that is very much set in a certain time period, right? So I think that some of the cards in it aren't likely to kind of see prints, or, if they're seeing prints, then it's more likely to be in like a commander thing. And even then, because of the huge amount of dual face cards that are in this set, they aren't going to see reprints very, very soon, in my opinion. So these were the different kind of themes here. Battles is pretty great. Sacrifice is great. Graveyard Matters is great. Knights matter. If you're building a knight deck, there's a lot of really great knights in this, which we'll talk about another issue. Well, not issue. Another great thing about this set later on. +1/+1s is great. Convoke is great, in my opinion. Backup is good. Transformation Matters is pretty decent too. The only real bad ones, in my opinion, are like Phyrexians Matter. That's not a great kind of one, just because Phyrexians are a bit not working great together. And Incubate, I do not like the Incubate mechanic. If you can make it work, but I don't think it's a great mechanic. So this is what we're talking about here, is the set boosters mostly. So you will see here that there is Multiverse Legends in a few different slots here, which is really, really good. And you're guaranteed to get a Multiverse Legend up here. Then you've got like a chance to get a traditional foil or a foil etched one, or in the wildcard slots, you can get them as well. And then here you've got also the March of Machine commander cards as well within this wild cards, which is really good. I absolutely love them. The commander cards are like, there's some really great bangers in that. All right, so here are some cards from the base set that are really good. A lot of them are around that kind of +1/+1 stuff. So like Ozolith, baking it so you're putting an extra +1 on stuff. The Tribute to the World Tree is really good. Fairy Mastermind, any kind of card draw deck works great in that with that. Or if your opponents are drawing cards, like this is a good kind of group hug, especially in like the like Bumbleflower precon. This was like one of the best upgrades for it. We've got like Thalia, and the Gitrog monster is a really great commander, as well as great in a lot of kind of Abzan decks. Ren and Realmbreaker is really great. Breach of the Multiverse in any kind of mill deck, that is amazing. Or any kind of thief based deck as well. Like just make everyone mill stuff and then go choose something from everyone's graveyard, put it onto the battlefield under your control, including your own graveyard too. So what we'll talk about before about those dual face cards, there's very unlikely that they see reprints in commander precons, which is like the major area that things get reprinted in, right? Unless it's a full-on kind of like Modern Horizons 3 or something like that, that's like going back and reprinting cards specifically. It is very like maybe Foundations. I don't think Foundations is going to have dual face cards either. They are unlikely that they get reprinted within the commander precons, just because it says, as it's tricky as it exceeds the budget allowance for most precon commander decks. Part of the business planning is making sure that each product has a combined mix of component pieces that all fit within the budget. So like, because of the fact that obviously the dual face cards have to be dual face and stuff, it makes it harder for them to be able to kind of reprint them in there. It's not impossible, but it's very unlikely. So that means that stuff like Atali is very unlikely to see a reprint here, which is really good. Atali is amazing. So definitely a card that you kind of want to be able to get. I don't think Atali has had a reprint since then. No. And, this card in any kind of dinosaur-based deck is great. My friend runs it in Zayatora, so he can throw it at people with Zayatora. There's just a lot of great ways you can make use of this card. And its price at the moment is just going to keep going up unless there's, like, specifically something that's reprinting dual-face cards. The battles. Now, that's the big one here, is that there are a lot of really kind of great battles. Some that are a little bit, not as great at the moment, but that doesn't mean that they're not going to find use later on and kind of spike up. Something like, Nihiri's lithoforming wasn't amazing at the time, but now with like the most recent precon, the most recent the Desert Bloom precon, that card is an absolute banger in that. Now, it didn't rise up in price very much because of that coming out, but it was, already a common, it's a rare, but like it's a bulk rare previously because it wasn't used all that much. So it's a card that you can like find use of later, which I think a lot of the battles they're going to find use of. Like if you think about the most the Babala Saga deck, or the Loot deck, or those kind of decks that care about certain card types, battles are something that are going to be great in those, and they're not going to get reprinted very often. So we got like the Invasion of Arcoria here, which is a tutor, or like, the Invasion of Gobakan. I can't pronounce that. Either way, great one. And then the Invasion of Tarkir in any dragon deck is really great. We've also got the Flip Praetors, which are unlikely, obviously, to get reprinted as well, which are finding use in a lot of different decks. So like Urabrask in a instance and sorcery deck, this is amazing. And, the fact that, again, they are flip dual-faced, it means that they're not likely to get reprinted anytime soon. We've got like the Flip, like the Shield Dread as well, or like any of the other ones, the Elish Norn and stuff, all kind of great cards that will find use in something either now or in the future potentially that are unlikely to get reprinted. The commander cards, there was a really great amount of really strong commander cards that have all kind of gone up in value since then. Like Nesting Dovehawk was like $10 like 2 months ago, I think, like before Bloomburrow. This was not a super duper expensive card. Even $10 is pretty good, but now it's kind of shot up to like $25. I think like some versions of it are like $30 or something like that. Like it is an insanely kind of great card in any creature token based deck, and I really need one. Yeah, it was like $7 and now it's shot up to like $30. It's bonkers. Bitterthorn as well, Uncivil Unrest, like any kind of +1/+1 deck, especially like the Voyager deck. This is crazy in the Voyager deck, right? We've got the Multiverse Legends. So this is what I was talking about, the bonus sheet. Essentially what they did was they reprinted a bonus sheet of a whole bunch of legendary creatures, but they reprinted them in like their original kind of Planes artwork. So like, you've got the Praetor Phyrexian style art for these guys. Ragavan here, printed in some amazing artwork. We've got like, Atraxa reprinted in the this new Capenna artwork, Aurelia in the original kind of artwork from Ravnica. Just a lot of really great legendaries that it can all be your commanders, or they're like just amazing cards in various different decks. Like Elish Norn, I want that for my Balin deck. Any kind of like little +1/+, like little like 1/1 creatures, that's going to be amazing in Ragavan here. I've got like, I need like 3 different versions of it. I've got one for my pirate thief deck, I think, at the moment. But, you know, there's just so many different decks that could be amazing in. We've also got the companions. All of the companions got reprinted in here. Now, obviously, some of them you can't really play as your companion in Commander. So Yorion and Lutri, you can't play either of those as a companion. In fact, you can't play Lutri at all. But all of them have like some really kind of great decks. Like Lurrus, lots of people run him in like lots of different decks. Like Amalia, he's really great in Amalia decks, or any kind of, like, he could be a commander by himself, or she. I think it's she. I think they're all female. Gigantha here, any kind of really fun kind of big creatures kind of deck, you could run that well in. Zerda in any activated kind of decks. The precons as well, a lot of the precons were really good. I would not suggest the Tinker Time or the Growing Threat ones. Both of those were kind of a little bit meh and didn't have some amazing kind of prints in them or anything like that. Like, you could make use of them, and with upgrades they wouldn't be too bad. But like the Growing Threat one was based around, I think it was Incubate and then Phyrexians, but the Phyrexians don't play incredibly well together. It was more ended up being like an artifacty kind of deck. And then the Tinker Time one just didn't have enough random kind of tokens for it. But with upgrades, they're not awful. They're not great, but they're not awful. But the other three, like the Cavalry Charge one, is just like top tier. It was when they first reprinted printed a commander with Eminence for quite a while, and it's them since like 2017 or whatever it was. And honestly, it's a very, very fun commander and a very fun deck. The Divine Convocation one has some really great prints in it, as well as just being a very fun deck as well. Call for Backup, I ripped that one apart to build my Aragorn of Hornbug Hero or something like that. I can't remember exactly his full name, but like just a +1/+1 deck, and it's the one with the Uncivil Unrest. And all three of these have some great like printed cards, either new or reprints in them. So some arguments against like the set overall. Incubate, in my opinion, really sucks. I do not like that. Some of the battles aren't great. That's meant to say aren't great. But I do think that they can find use kind of later on. Like, what was it? There's like discarding cards and stuff like that. As soon as they bring out more kind of stuff that it matters about discarding and stuff, that would be amazing. The Phyrexians, as I said, don't really play well together. So if you want Phyrexian Tribal, I don't think it's amazing, but not too bad. And there's obviously not a high chance of the commander cards in the set boosters. But I'd love to hear from you guys as to what you think. Am I bonkers, or is this set really great? I believe when the set kind of came out, people were kind of talking about they really, really liked it. But I think it's kind of died down a little bit. Honestly, there's a lot of really great stuff, especially within that kind of bonus sheet. So let me know what you guys think. Have a great day and goodbye.